Winning is a fucking culture. Winning is a fucking culture. Winning is something that does not just happen. It is a culture that has to be built. You do not just hope every Sunday that you're going to come out there and win football games. It is a fucking culture that has to be built. If you don't understand what that means, think about the Carolina Panthers the last two games. This season is over. You were sitting at 2 weeks ago, you were sitting at 1-7, had nothing to fight for. Everybody written off. You was the laughing stock of the NFL. Nobody cared about what you were doing. Nobody was caring about it. But this locker room still fought. This locker room still fought. I don't want to hear shit about, oh, it was the Saints. Oh, this was the Giant. We've already eclipsed our win total from last season. Okay. And just with 3 wins, this is a better season than last year with just 3 wins. The season has already been turned around from where we were this time last year with just one extra game. The Panthers went to Germany today and played they fucking ass off. Winning is a culture that has to be built. You don't just come out each Sunday and hope for the fucking best. That's not how it works when you're talking about winning football. Winning is a fucking culture that has to be built. Anytime that you go in with a football team, it doesn't matter what level that you're going to, losing is a culture and winning is a culture. You have to be taught how to win games, especially when you have a young roster, especially when you have a roster full of nobody and you lack star talent. You have to teach that culture. And I want to give props to Dave Canales. I want to give props to Dan Morgan. I want to give props to not listening to the outside world and giving up on Bryce Young, because myself and the whole world all felt like we should have moved on from Bryce Young. I'm guilty as fucking charged. I will take all of the charges that come along with it. I said that man was finished. I said that he was finished. I'm not even going to lie to you. But winning is a culture that has to be built. And you have to understand that it has to be built brick by brick by brick. It's not going to happen overnight. The foundations in Carolina are being laid. I'm going to tell you something right now. The youth that we have on this football team, shout out to Dan fucking Morgan, because Dan fucking Morgan, he hit on these draft picks from this last draft. I'm saying it right fucking now, man. Dan Morgan hit on these draft picks, man. Leggett is legit. Jatavian Sanders is legit. These guys are playmakers, and they're going to be playmakers for the Panthers going forward, man. I'm convinced. And listen, guys, no matter if you wanted to say it, listen, when the trade deadline passed and we didn't get rid of Bryce Young, that right there was signifying this organization still believes in Bryce Young. And we have no choice but to believe in him too. I think that sitting him down, all of those people that said that sitting him down wasn't going to do him any good, I think sitting him down has done him light years worth of progression. It's done something for him, because now he's getting to see a change that he didn't get to see when he was out there. He needed to sit back to learn from his mistakes about staying composed, staying calm in the pocket, not overdoing it, not doing too much, playing his game. It doesn't matter. If Bryce Young can come out and play how the fuck he played these last 2 games, the Panthers will have a chance at winning. And he didn't light up the board. He didn't throw for 300 yards. I don't even think he eclipsed 200 yards passing today. But he didn't turn the ball over. He was efficient. He found the soft spots in the zones. He found a check down when he was in trouble. And guess what he relied on? The run. Shout out to Canales for not getting away from the run today. Our offense is going to be a run-first offense. You just paid Chuba Hubbard all this money. Chuba Hubbard, the offense goes through Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is going to be a top 5 running back at the end of this season. The offense goes through Chuba Hubbard. Without a question, without a doubt. You keep running the ball like you're doing. Set Bryce up. Do not put Bryce in long down distance situations. He showed today that when he has manageable second and third downs, he can make the reads. Get him on the move. Play action. Something that we have not been able to see from Bryce Young. We saw it. Getting him in space, that is Bryce Young's game. Get him on the move. Keep him moving. Don't give up on it. You have to stay true to what he can do. Don't make him a quarterback that he's not. Short to intermediate throws. Let the wide receivers get behind the linebackers. Put them on the run. That's Bryce Young's game, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up, man. The Carolina Panthers put together back-to-back wins, something that we have not seen in over a year. We haven't seen it in over a year, almost 2 years to this point. You got to give this team props, man, because they keep fighting. They didn't give up. I said before these 2 weeks that if the Panthers had any chance of winning any more games over the last 6 or 7 games of the season, it was going to happen against the Saints. It was going to happen against the Giants. Shout out to everybody, man. No ways. I need to hear Dave Canales get criticism for his awful play calling today and decision making, bro, like he was in the second half. Listen, the second half did have some questionable stuff. I think we were very conservative when we let the Giants back into the game. But listen, man, this is football at the end of the day. He was coaching to not lose the game. That's what he was coaching for, was to not lose the game. Especially how bad the Giants had played in the first half and how well of our defense was playing. Look, Daniel Jones didn't show me anything that he was going to fight his way back into this game. I want to give, if anybody that deserves criticism, it's Ejiro, man, for having the corners and the linebackers play so far off late in the game. You didn't even force them, man, to try to make difficult passes. You kept letting them get all the underneath stuff, driving down into field goal range, and Gano hits the kick to get into overtime. Blame Ejiro, man. Ejiro is probably going to be gone after this season. I'm letting everybody know he's probably going to be gone after this season because the defense played well. I do not like how the defense was playing in the second half, especially, man, the last 5 to 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. They were playing so far off instead of pressing them up that they were allowing easy completions to the sideline across the middle, allowing them to get back down the field goal range. No, you should have been up in their fucking faces, and you should have kept the pressure on Daniel Jones. But to Canales' defense, he played the game not to lose it. He didn't play the game. He wasn't trying to be overly aggressive. Was it conservative? Absolutely, it was conservative. But I think David Canales has called a hell of a game today. Y'all, let me hit my black right quick. I'm turned up. Guys, shout out to everybody in the motherfucking building. Life is Just a Wave podcast. Carolina Panthers put back-to-back wins together, man. Sitting at 3-7. Waves, why are you so excited? Because your team is 3-7 right now. Well, goddamn it, is winning football in the Carolina. Something we haven't been able to do in how long? Back-to-back fucking winning games. I'm glad we won, but Waves, you ain't back on the Bryce train, are you? MDJ, he's our quarterback, bro. He's our quarterback. I have no choice but to be on the Bryce train. They didn't trade him before the trade deadline. And Dan Morgan already came out this week and said that they believe in Bryce Young, man. He's already come out and said it. He's our quarterback. So we're stuck with him. We got to deal with him. And as fans, we got to support him, man. We got to support him. Nah, bro, Canales was good, fucking awful. There's zero excuse. Man, what do y'all fucking want, man? Like, I don't understand what the Panthers fans want. You won the fucking game. Was it the best play calling game of his fucking career or in the NFL? No, absolutely not. But you won the fucking game, man. It was a tight game, a game that the Panthers have lost. Normally, when we let teams come back like that and we're going to overtime, we lost that. We lose those games. So, again, give the Panthers credit, man, for going out there and fucking fighting, man, and not giving up. At least give them that. Winning is a culture. Winning is a fucking culture, man. I tell everybody that, listen, I'm a youth football coach. Winning has to be a culture. This is not something that just happens. You can't just take a bunch of fucking players, and put them onto the damn field and just hope that you're going to win games. Winning is something that has to be taught. Winning is something that has to be taught. It's something that has to be learned. It's not something that's just going to happen. You guys know that. Look at the fucking the New York Jets. They got probably one of the most talented rosters in the NFL, and they're still sitting below 500 right now because winning is a culture. Anybody that knows football and knows the game of the football, winning is not something that just happens. You have to teach that. It has to be built over time. It's not something that you can just cook up in the goddamn kitchen, then all of a sudden that you're winning. If you're lucky enough, it'll happen sooner than later for other teams. But in reality, winning is a fucking culture. And this has been a losing franchise for a long ass time. Elite defensive play outside of the run game. Again, the defense played well. They played well, man. They limited them to, they did give up a couple big plays late in the game. But overall, the defense played a hell of a fucking game. They played a hell of a game. I just don't agree with how far back they were playing in the last 4 minutes of the game. When they let them get in field goal range and Gano kicked the field goal, they were playing too far back. They should have been manned up in their face, causing tight throws. If you get the pass interference call, you live with it. But they should have been really more aggressive late in that game, and I feel like they wasn't. I can't blame that on the offense. Yes, the offense did have some stagnant drives, man, coming out the half. I think they went 4 possessions, man, with 3 and out. That's not good. But ultimately, man, again, they did enough early in the fucking game to stay in the game. That's what you want to see. We got Big Bro backstage. Big Bro about to pull you up here in a second after my open soliloquy. Listen, Bryce Young is our quarterback of the future. It doesn't matter how I feel about him. It doesn't matter if he should be here. He's the answer of, listen, I don't know what he is long term. I don't know if he's the guy long term. But this organization, when they did not trade him at the trade deadline, and when Dan Morgan came out earlier this week, when they did his press conference, I don't know if anybody caught Dan Morgan's press conference. If you didn't, go back and watch it. He said that him and the upper regime believe in Bryce Young. He's still their quarterback. So with that being said, he's going to be our guy. He's going to be our guy. And honestly, Bryce has showed a lot of improvement over the last 2 weeks. I got to give him his credit. I get one thing about Wavez. He may talk his shit, but he give credit where credit is due. Bryce Young has played well, man. He hasn't lit up the score box, but overall, he's done enough for the Panthers to win the game. He hasn't did turnovers. He looks a lot more composed in the pocket. He looks a lot more decisive with what he's wanting to do. He's not taking any unnecessary sacks. And on top of that, man, he's scrambling when he needs to scramble. He's getting out of the pocket when he needs to get out of the pocket. Also, the young man, I'm telling you, this draft, the Panthers hit on this past draft. This 2024 draft that the Panthers did, Canales and Morgan and those guys in their first draft, they hit on it, man. Xavier Legette is legit. Jatavian Sanders is legit. These guys are legit football players, man. Those guys are, and I can't wait to see what Jonathan Brooks. Chuba Hubbard is probably going to finish a top 5 running back in the NFL this season. Chuba Hubbard, you one. And I want to say that was probably the best fucking move that the Carolina Panthers made all year, was locking up Chuba Hubbard this early in the season. And you locked him up to a great deal. It was a great deal. 4 years, $33 million. That's a great year. Only 17 guaranteed. That's guaranteeing that he's spending the majority of his prime years here in Carolina, and you didn't overpay him. I think he's like the 9th paid running back in the league. You got that for a steal. Good job, man, by this front office, man, for going ahead and getting Chuba Hubbard locked up. Now comes J.C. Horn. You got to get J.C. Horn locked up to a long-term deal. You have to. You have to hit it. And then, guys, what I'm telling you is this. I'm excited. And the reason why I'm excited is about this. Even if we don't win another game the rest of this season, and even if we don't, if we do, great. I had us at 5 wins this season. Is that a possibility? Absolutely, that's a possibility. Maybe last game of the season. We got a bye week next week, but we come off the bye and we play the Kansas City Chiefs at home. That's probably not going to go well, right? So I'm already saying that the next game that we play, we're probably not going to win. The Kansas City Chiefs here in Carolina, that's going to be an uphill battle. So I don't know, man. But what I will say is this, and I will be dropping the link in the chat, man, here in just a second, bringing Big Bro up here to get his opinion. But what I would say about this, guys, I'm excited because the future is bright. The future is bright, right? The future is bright. We are going to have to believe in Bryce Young. We have no choice but to believe in him. We're going to have to just tailor our offense and set up to what his strengths are, right? Legette and him obviously have a connection. They have a connection. Jatavian Sanders, they obviously have a connection. You got Chuba Hubbard, who you can rely on. The offensive line has played well, especially listen, every fucking dime that you spent on those 2 guards, every dime that you spent on those 2 guards in the free agency was worth every fucking penny. Those goddamn guards, Hunt and your other boy, listen, it was worth every fucking penny. They spent big money on these $100 million guys. These guys are paving the way for Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard doesn't have the season that he's having without those 2 guards in the middle. The interior of the line is solidified. Ike Ekwonu, the jury is still out on him. I honestly, man, I don't think that he's the long-term answer at left tackle. You know, Taylor Moton is coming to the end of his career. Do I think you may have to draft another tackle here soon? Absolutely. You are probably going to have to try to get another tackle real soon to make sure that Bryce and this offense can continue to click. right? But I'm excited because right now you're probably positioning yourself to have a top 10 pick. If you continue to win out, you're positioning yourself to probably have a top 10 pick. You got a top 10 pick. You could draft well. Again, we may not finish in the top 4 in the draft. That's a possibility. You may not finish in the top 4 of the draft. If you win probably 2 more games, that might knock you out of the top 5. There's a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now. Like literally, there's a lot of bad teams in the league right now. So you may not finish with a top 5 pick because the NFL is bad right now. But if you take what you have now and you can draft well again, if they can stack back-to-back drafts, good drafts, you have laid a foundation for you to be able to build a contending football team through youth movement. If Jonathan Brooks comes back and he showed that he can be a great 1A to 1B to Chuba Hubbard behind this offensive line, and Bryce Young can at least continue to play at the level that he's playing at these last 2 games, where he's not lighting it up. Again, I would love to see him take more shots down the field. He's not lighting it up, but he's also not losing you the game. So if he can stay with that consistency, and these youth guys can continue to develop like they're developing, and you can hit on next year's draft. You got 9 draft picks next season. You have 9 draft picks next season. 9 for this upcoming draft. 9 draft picks in 2025. 9. If you can hit on 3 to 4 of those 9, you have laid the foundations of building a contending football team. And I think those 3 to 4 have to be on the defensive side of the ball. You need to get you a linebacker. Josey Jewell is playing phenomenal. Shout out to Josey Jewell. Josey Jewell played a hell of a game today. That interception play that he made, man, that ultimately kept the Carolina Panthers in a winning victory formation. Josey Jewell has played his ass off. Jadeveon Clowney had a solid game today. He made the tip, man, what ultimately got picked off by Xavier Woods. Jadeveon Clowney played a great game today. Y'all, it just feels good, man, to be a Panthers fan and actually put together, back-to-back wins. I'm not saying we're going to the playoffs. I'm not saying that, we are, a contender right now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to the world is that winning is a fucking culture. Winning is a culture. Winning is a culture. Winning is a culture. Winning is a fucking culture. You have to build that. That is something that has to be that is something that has to be built. You have to build that. You have to build that type of culture. At the end of the day, if you want to have a football team, the Chiefs didn't become the Chiefs overnight. The Eagles didn't become the Eagles overnight. The Lions didn't become the Lions overnight. None of that stuff was created overnight. That is something that you have to build. You have to build that. If you don't build that culture, then losing will continue to be the expectation. It starts in the locker room. It starts on the practice field. It starts with the conversations and the relationships that the players are building. It starts there. That culture has to be built. You have to build that. So if you want to win football games, you have to continue to build that culture. It's the expectation. That's what it is. Dave Canales came into this thing with obviously probably the worst set of tools that you could have to try to build something. The worst set of tools that you can have when you're trying to build something. It's when you are trying to make art, you have to have a schematic of a landscape for it to be a good picture. You have to have an idea. Well, how are the shadings of the paint going to be? well, what do I want to do with this down here? Do I want to put this background on it? You have to have a schematic to win games. It's not something that you're just going to come out and think that you're going to be able to, it's just going to happen. No. And Panther fans, we have to understand that. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight. You're not going to just sit back every single week and just go out there and get mad just because we're not doing what we're doing. We can't keep talking about all of the bad decisions that the Panthers have made. Yes, the decisions have been bad. Yes, they've been head scratchers. Yes, they have not been the best decisions in the world. I understand all of that. But what you have to understand, we are where we are right now. This regime that's in, we have to believe in them to get this thing turned around. That's what we have to do. So no matter if it's Bryce Young, somebody else that's at quarterback, no matter if it's Canales or somebody else that's coaching, we have to make what we have now work. Because if we don't, we're going to continue to be in that cycle. The culture takes time to be built. It's not going to be built in 1 year. Hell, it's not going to be built in 2 years. This is something that takes time. And building a culture is not going to always look pretty. Y'all already see it. When construction is going on, the construction site is always messy. It's always messy when the building is getting built up. You always look at that shit when it's halfway built or 2/4 of it being built, and you say, man, what the fuck is that going to be? You have no idea. What the fuck is that going to be? You have no idea what it's going to be until, a couple months to a year later, now it's starting to take shape. Now it's starting to take shape. Now you can see what the vision is. Well, after 1 month, okay, well, now they done put the walls in. Now after 2 months, okay, now they done put, what I'm saying, some more pieces in. Okay, now the roof is on. Now they're painting. Now it's starting to outline and look like a business. It's starting to look like that 5-star restaurant. That shit has to be built. Winning is a culture. It's not something that is just given. It's not something that you just put out there. It's not that. That's not gonna happen. I'm about to pull Big Bro and Christian up here, man. Y'all go ahead, man.
Oh, what's good, man? I like what I saw from the offense the first half. Bryce did a incredible job. The offensive line, they did a good job. The sack that Brian Burns had, Bryce actually slipped because the field actually was slippery in Germany. A lot of people were saying the field was slippery because they had I guess the little ceiling thing. It was open, so I think they eventually kind of closed it a little bit, but uh, yeah, that sack was on the field because it was slippery as hell. But I like what I saw from the offense in the first half. Defense played incredible in the first half. The second half, they still play solid, but for me personally, like I just we ever for everything that happened in this game.
I'm not blaming Evero for everything that happened in this game. Like I said, I think that in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, the play calling was very, very reserved. You know what I'm saying? Like it was super reserved. Like I feel like we didn't stay aggressive. But again, I feel like Canals was coaching to not lose the game. You know what I'm saying? But again, I
But
just
that's
don't agree
bad
with how
though.
much I don't agree with how much cushion we were giving the Giants on their last offensive drive for the fourth quarter where they got in field goal range, man, to give it to Gano. Like even the commentator was saying, why weren't you guarding the sidelines? Like you didn't guard the sidelines. You were supposed to guard the sidelines. They didn't have any more timeouts left. You should have forced them to play into the middle of the field. So I don't understand. I don't understand why we made those moves. That's
I
what I
agree
was
with
saying
that
about
part.
him.
I agree with that part, but that second half was completely on Dave Canales because his third down and short plays were complete garbage, and he's been doing that all season. he needs to take criticism because I feel like if we're gonna criticize players, and we can't shoot Dave Canellis no bill. He deserves no bill. Yeah, you did great the first half, but it's a whole fourth quarter. He almost cost the team the game, and that was solely on him. That was solely on Dave Canales. And he's been doing this all year where he's been in these situations and he's been doing spotty play calling all season. And he's done this last season against the Bucks with the Bucks, and he's doing it this year. He goes abandoned from the run when we need to run. And it's a
We didn't
lot of
get away
times
from the run today, though, man. Chuba Hubbard
no,
had over 150 yards on the ground.
but you're not hearing what I'm saying. He abandoned the run when he needed to run the ball. And there was times when he needed to do that. Those third down and ones, and we thought conservative was what's his face? What's the brother name that was here? We thought he was conservative.
John Fox.
No, not him. The
Steve
brother that
Wilkes.
was Steve. This dude beat Steve Wilson conservative. I'm trying to tell you, I
Well,
can't take
yeah,
it.
I mean, yeah, listen. So we all know again that Canals is very concerned. He coaches not to lose the game. That's we know that. That's something that he got to get better with. So yes, he deserves criticism. Criticism. But overall, man, my thoughts from today: we got the win. Defense played to me, especially first half, great game. Second half they gave up stuff. Overall, I think the defense, they did enough to give us a chance to win. That's what we want every week, right? With a chance to win. Versus getting blown out, people putting up 25, 30, 40 points on us. So I give A for the defense. Offensive side of the ball, Bryce, another great game managed today. Great game. Would have had two touchdowns, had the second one called back for a penalty. He managed the game, made the right decisions. Again, what I keep taking, I said this on last week's pod, Aquanu didn't play again, and the offensive line looked 10 times better. I
Yep.
don't know if y'all noticed that. Second week in a row, Aquanu has not played, and we didn't give up any sacks besides the one that Brian Burns, I think, at the beginning of the game was the only one. And Bryce really could have threw the ball away, but he laid down for them. But anyway, um,
He actually
offensive
slipped
line,
on that play. He actually
yeah,
slipped. It was due to the field. He was
right,
trying to
exactly.
throw.
So it wasn't
Yeah,
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 it wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
blocking or
Yeah, yeah. They
anything.
said the field
Yeah.
was trash, and that's been an overseas thing this
So
whole season.
so
Yeah, they got to get it right.
we did we did our formula on offense what Canals is want, meaning run the ball first team, manageable third downs, right? That's what we were in. Manageable. We ran the ball and we
Yeah,
were in
we did.
manageable third downs.
Short downs of
So
distances.
short down, that's what we want. Again, Bryce was able to manage that. He made the right. He threw the ball away when he needed to. Made the throws that he needed to make when it was throws. You know what I'm saying? Even the plays I was even watching. There was a couple plays where he threw it out of bounds, man. When there was nothing there. Hey, that's progression. Again, the numbers don't jump off the page at it, but from what we've seen in the past it looks a lot better on offense. And yes, we can go back to Canals made some questionable. Absolutely, he played not to lose the game. Second half conservative.
I hate that.
I mean, I hate it too, but again, we got the W today, and hopefully, as we get more and more talent on this team, and we'll be able to do more stuff. But overall, man, I like what we got in our young core. Like I've always been a Bryce, puller, even when we bench him, like I didn't understand why we pulled him anyway. But to see his progression over the last few weeks, maybe that him sitting down those 2, 3 weeks or however long it was helped him a lot to see a game from a different level. And you can tell, man, he's making better decisions. The throws are there. He kind of, he's playing with even you can he's playing with more confidence, man. Um, at the quarterback position. That's what you need, man. So again, I'm happy with the win. We got it. We pulled it off. Again, this is what we can only get expect. Again, we're growing as a team. Hopefully, we're right now we're trending in the right direction, as they say. There's obviously things we can improve on, but overall, from today, guys, listen, it was a great game overall. It was a complete game against a bad Giants team. I know it was a bad Giants team. You ain't got to tell me that. But again, we're not a great team. We're not a good team, right? So again, these wins, these last 2 weeks, we got to take them where we can get them. As long as we see for progression, we got to take that forward and hope we keep trending in the right direction. Chuba Hubbard, wonderful game on the ground, man. Um, that's who we are. Run the ball first. I don't want Bryce throwing it 30 times, 30 plus times a game. I want right where his number was at today. That's fine with me. If we can win games like that, him being a game manager, not turning the ball over,
I'm okay with
hey,
that.
I'm
Yeah,
okay
and
with
he
it.
can close games. He look. I believe
Yeah,
in Bryce. Bryce can close. I don't care no nigga tell me. Bryce
Yeah.
can close. When the game is on the line and it's the crunch time, he's put us in position. And when it's really been there, if
absolutely.
you look at those games, he has put us in position. I think we have. And I do want to ask a question. Do you think I might ask a question for the Panthers? Do y'all guys think, and everybody in the comments too, do y'all think that this team is playing better because Dan Morgan has got rid of a lot of these veterans that were in the way for the younger guys?
I mean, I'll answer that first, man. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, I don't know if it was the veteran guys per se. I think that, man, you have no choice but to play these young guys, right? I mean, the season is already lost, so there's no excuse for them not to be on the field, right? So what I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, man, like, you got to remember something. No matter if you agree with the decisions, you might not agree with the Deontay Johnson trade. You may not have agreed with some
I
of the
did.
past. Yeah, like, it's a couple trades and questionable things that we've done. But you got to remember something, man. What I feel like offsets that, getting rid of that, is that it's looking like, man, that the guys that you've drafted from this past draft, it looking like those guys are going to be key contributors for this team going forward. That's what it's looking like. And to me, I can hang my hat on that shit, right? I can hang my hat on that, man, because what the Panthers have not been doing well over the last couple of years is drafting well, right? Like, listen, if you got a draft with 5 or 6 picks, your hope, man, is that at least two of those guys turn out to be key contributors to what you were doing, and you will hope that it would be your early round guys. So far, our top 2 picks or top 3 picks, we got to wait to see what Jonathan Brooks looked like coming off of a major injury, but it's looking like at least the top 3 picks are doing well. Leggett, Datavian Sanders, and we'll see what Jonathan Brooks will do. But it's looking like those guys are penning out to be future key contributors, man, for the
Yeah,
Panthers
Coker
going
too.
forward.
You gotta give Coker
Yeah,
some love.
and Coker, yeah, I want to give him. So it's good when your young players, man, are showing promise because you're not paying anything for them right now. So if
Right.
you have young talented players on rookie deals, you're setting yourself up for the best financial situation going forward. If your quarterback is on a rookie deal, but he's playing solid, like Big Bruh said, I am 100% okay with Bryce Young being just a game manager. I'm all right with that. We always been a run first team anyway. I think that that's what we need to continue to do. Don't put Bryce Young in situations where he has to put the entire team on his back to go and win it. Don't put him in those kind of situations. Short down the distance situations, manageable second and third situations. Anything longer than third and six for Bryce Young is probably not an ideal situation for him to be in. He needs to be in third and six or shorters, like shorters going forward. The wide receivers, the young wide man, they showed I don't know if y'all saw that stat at the beginning of the Panthers game today, but the Panthers wide receiving core over the last 2 years, over the last 2 weeks, rank in the top 5 in the NFL in receiving. The wide receiving core over the last 2 weeks, the Panthers young rookie wide receiving core is ranking in the top 5 in receiving.
Well,
Leggett,
who said to
Sanders,
give them an opportunity? I've been
yeah,
screaming
Leggett,
for them for the
Sanders,
Yeah, I
beginning of
mean
the
that's
season.
that's that's what we guys. We got to remember. That's why we drafted, man, because we drafted
Right.
receivers because so they what are veterans gonna come in, Johnson or what are the veterans, was in the way. I don't think they were in the way. The fact these young guys were going to play, right? They were going to play. Leggett was definitely going to play regardless if Johnson was still here or not.
But
Um,
Coker
um,
though,
yeah,
Now
Coker is playing well.
Coker. Well, again, where he was drafted at, he was drafted in what, the seventh round.
no,
So
he wasn't drafted at
He was
all. He was
undrafted. Yeah, he was
undrafted.
Okay,
undrafted.
He
undrafted,
Yeah.
yeah,
should have
undrafted
been
free agent. That's
drafted.
right. So
He should
meaning,
have been.
look, Coker, when you got an undrafted free, you don't expect them to see the field not as
He deserves
not
to be
not
on
not
there.
especially not their first year,
I don't
definitely.
know what
So
they were seeing.
yeah, but the fact that he's gotten an opportunity due to the room, which is good, and yes, down the road, Ken, I think Coker is going to be a key contributor. Absolutely, man. So we just got to again everything that's happening right now for the Panthers with these young guys.
It's
I'm
what you want to
glad
see,
that
man.
this is exactly what you want to see, man. You want to see them contributing. So listen, going forward, we got to keep hitting on the draft, right? I think
Got
as it
to.
stands right now, we got 9 picks in the upcoming draft. As it stands right now, we got 9 picks,
Right.
right? So so let's keep on moving. I think Dan Morgan has the plan. With bringing certain caliber guys. I mean, I'm gonna give you another guy who I think played solid today. Wasn't big numbers, but he was solid. I think Wynham played numbers. He was the first game back.
Oh, he was
Oh
great.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
great
yeah,
today. Yeah,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
He
he
was
was on
causing
limited
Wynham.
pressure.
minutes.
He was
Yeah,
causing
He was on
pressure.
Wynham.
limited.
So
Yeah,
we talking
they would have
about
got more
that's
sacks had he played more. He was just limited. But
yeah, right, exactly. So but yeah, Wynham. That's another one, man. I mean, we are trending in the right direction. Is it gonna
right.
be pretty every week?
Nah, it's not.
No, it's not. We're
No.
not going to be turning to the Chiefs or the Ravens overnight.
It's
It's
a
not. So we're
culture.
gonna take
You got to
this
build it.
progression, right? We
Yep.
taking this progression. I'm
Right.
glad we got a win going into a bye week. Chiefs
Oh,
come
I
to
hate that we got a
town.
bye week. I do.
Yep,
Well,
I
we
we
got a
wish
bye
needed,
it
week
was.
man.
coming.
We needed to get healthy. Get a little bit healthier.
Yeah,
I
because
look, Wiz,
Jonathan
I'm
Brooks is gonna
with
be able
you.
to play after the bye week.
I'm
So
with you 100%. I
I'm
just
just
wish
not.
it
I'm
would
not a
have
fan of
been.
playing the Chiefs off the bye, though, man.
That's what I'm
That's a
saying.
tough
I
game.
wish we had
That's a
like the
tough game off the
Cowboys
bye
off
week.
the. I wish
well,
we
I
had like the
mean,
Cowboys off the bye. You
yeah,
know.
I mean, of course you would want to, but again,
Uh,
the schedule is the schedule, right?
Yeah, you can't do
Um,
nothing about it.
ain't
Yeah.
nothing we can do
unfortunately.
about the schedule. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, we going into the game. Our expectations is limited, right? We're not saying we about to go and beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions for a reason. They're undefeated right
And they're
now for a reason.
undefeated. Yep, they're
Hey, but
undefeated.
I
So
ain't gonna even hold you. I'm not gonna even hold you. I just feel like, and I said it. I just feel like this is gonna be the Chiefs' first loss. And I
I'm,
told somebody
it
4 weeks
could
ago.
be. Listen,
I said it. I said, bro. I said Vegas gonna be going crazy. I'm gonna place a bet just to
They
see
got
what's
two
gonna
weeks
yeah.
to
happen.
I
prepare
mean,
for them, man.
the last time that they was here, no, what was that?
No,
The
the
last time
last time we no, the
we
last
played
time
the
we
Chiefs, we
played
played
them
them
was
close.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
Was
we
no, no,
played them
no,
close
Teddy
then.
Bridgewater, and it was a one score game.
Game,
And
right?
remember,
Exactly.
Teddy Bridgewater did the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
man.
did the
Yep.
helicopter. Man, I
So
miss
listen,
Joe
I mean,
Brady. I ain't gonna even hold you.
there is a chance, guys. I'm not saying there is depends on again the Chiefs coming here thinking
See,
they just gonna
hey,
blow
bye.
us out and and look over us lightly, man. We might surprise them again. The NFL is jinky, man.
This could be
You
a trap game. It could definitely
you
be a
know
That's
trap
a
game.
trap game for the ages.
Yeah, it could definitely be
Hey,
a trap
man.
game. But what I'm saying to you guys is like this, man. Like I started the show, winning is a culture, man. Like you have to. That's something that this young team has to be taught. Like I said, man, I love what Dan Morgan said in his press conference, man, because we really haven't heard much from him since the season has started. But man, if you love what he say, Dan Morgan is speaking about conviction about this team. He expressed how much confidence he still has in Bryce Young. He said that they even
I
took phone
love
calls
that.
for J.C. Horn. I love to hear that shit from because what that does, man, it gives you giving inspiration to your players, man. It's building trust.
Right.
The players
Like
are
Jason
saying when you
Howard.
come out, when your GM comes out and say, "I took calls for you, but I didn't. I denied every single one of
yeah,
them, man."
told them unavailable. Yeah,
Yeah, he
so
told them that they were
Right.
unavailable. That builds trust into that locker room, man.
Right.
Because all the Panthers have been seeing is guys leaving out the door left and right, left and right. The whole shit being restarted. No, you have to work with what you have right now. Again, the draft is our key to success. We got to keep
and,
hitting on these young guys because if we have, yeah,
no,
if
I
we
ain't
have,
gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, Waves. I'm gonna have a problem with Dave Canales if you don't come out and say, "Well, Bryce is the starter for the rest of the season." Like, nigga, at this point,
I
like,
mean,
stop playing.
but
Stop
my thing about
playing.
this, man,
well,
but
well, here's the thing,
Christian,
bro. we know. I mean, Christian, we know for a fact that Bryce gonna be the starter the rest of the
Yeah,
season.
yeah, we
Right,
already
but
know it.
but
Like
stop
it's
playing in our face though. That's the point. Like,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on,
It's
He's
like
like
just
it's
saying
stop
that to
playing.
light a fire under Bryce. I think he's doing it just to light a
yeah,
fire under him.
Well, look,
and that
man,
could
you
be
will
true. He
stop
might
playing
just
with me. I hope so, because I hope that's what
yeah.
he's
That's the
doing.
only
Because
reason I can think of.
because
But we all
it just
know
it
the
just
media
bothers me
know
because you
Bryce
hear Dan
2 wins
Morgan
in a
go
row. He's going to start again. Andy's the
right,
backup. Bryce is the future man. So
right, right.
listen,
It's just
guys,
confusing though.
we right now we got one win more than we had last year. Right, that's progression.
Progression.
It's again. We won 2 games last year. Now we got 3 games with games still left
We
to
gotta
play.
get
Right.
two more to call this. Pro. We in pro right now. We to get to
Yeah,
Gresham, we
you
gotta
know what I'm
get two
saying. If we
more
can listen,
wins.
if we
Yeah.
can find a way to get 2 or 3 more wins, hey, we find a way.
I
Bryce
think we
get two
get
or three
one
more
more.
wins.
I think we get one more guaranteed because you got a bad Dallas team that we play here, which I think that may be a good
We're gonna
matchup. And I
flip
think
that
that
around.
when we play, Tampa Bay is banged up, and maybe Atlanta the last week of the season, they'll be sitting their starters, so you might get that win. So 1 or 2 wins are very realistic at this point.
Yeah,
It's
two.
very real. You can 1 or 2 more is realistic. I said
Absolutely,
five. I
man. That
said
puts.
five. I had at five. I said
Hey,
at five.
hey,
Like
well,
five
I ain't
wins
gonna
was the
hold you.
max that I had for the Panthers, and they're trending in that direction right now. I didn't say anything unrealistic. I didn't say seven. I didn't say anything
Yeah,
like that.
I had it said 7. I ain't gonna lie. At the beginning of the season, I thought with what we had, we at least
And
could
you
get
set
7.
us up, nigga. You set us
Nah,
up for
I didn't.
failure.
Nah,
No,
man. Listen,
I'm just playing, bro.
I thought
I
I just
don't.
thought that's what we had. But anyway,
I
look, I will say we can get. I'm with. I think we can get it at least 4 to 5. Wins, and then I'll take that, man. Listen, I'll take the 3. Listen, with what this season we done been put up with this season, hey, I'm happy with. Even if we don't win another game, I feel like we've shown some progression, a lot of progression
right,
these last few weeks. So we're trending in the right direction, man. So let's just build off of what we got, right? Build off.
right.
We go into this off season building off what what was the spots of the season at
Yep.
every position. We gonna add people in the draft and keep building that way, man. Like 2 3 years from now, we can like, damn, we made the right moves, brought in the right people. Now we got a complete team on both sides of the ball, right? So
Right.
again, man, I'm hey, I'm
I do
happy
think we
with
need to shoot
today.
some bell though to the defense. I mean, this season,
Yeah.
I think we should because I think everybody has been way too hard on the defense
Well, no,
because
it's not that I'm being
not you
hard
wait,
on them.
not you ways,
Yeah.
not you ways. I'm not talking about nobody here. I'm talking about the fan base has been way overcritical of the defense and even Avero. I'm shooting him some bill this year,
Well, yeah, I
even though
don't want to
I
blame
do
Emerald
think
for this season.
even though I think we're
Nah, you
gonna move
can't. He don't
on
have
from
no
him.
talent.
Yeah, even though I think we're gonna move on from him, in my personal honest opinion, I think we should get Robinson. Like that's just me. But
Yeah, Robinson.
I hope we don't, man. I hope we don't.
Robinson, like,
If there's a way to keep him, man? I don't know if he wants to be here after this season. I don't know
well, even
because
I think is gonna
Everett
stay.
is a great defensive coordinator. He probably should be a head coach in this league at somewhere. I mean, obviously, if he have
Yeah,
opportunity
this
to
year
go
didn't
to
help
be
him
a
though.
head coach next year, he should take it. But if not, I would love to have him back, man, because even with this group right here, and it's been bad this season. Like even this group, what they did, have what they've done over the last 2 3 weeks.
I say
They,
5.
yeah, they've been playing again solid football. I'm gonna say solid. It ain't been the best, but they've been playing solid football. Like I say, that Alshon Robinson forcing the turnover today in
Yeah,
overtime. That was
Juju.
huge, man. Like I say,
I
they
say
shut out.
Juju.
This was the first time all season, guys, that we had a shutout in the first half on defense.
Right.
That
You're
was the
right
first time
about
it
that.
happened
Well,
all
this
season.
the first, right?
Yep. They
Oh,
had
then
no
we have
points,
one in
even
the
though we
second
know the
half,
Giants
don't they?
bad. We know that, but it's still the NFL, right? It's hard to shut teams out in the first half.
Yeah,
It
It's
neighbors
is.
too.
hard,
Neighbors was a non-existent, and
non-factor.
neighbors been going off on top defenses all season.
You know,
He's been doing that, so I credit J.C. Horn and Mike Jack for that tonight.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they played phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So
because Neighbors been going off all year, even on good defense. He ain't just been trash. He's been going off on. He been going
yeah.
off.
So like I said, if Evero, if he don't take a head coaching job, I would love to have him back because I think he got the pieces in play. We draft well and bring some more guys in. To turn the defense to get better, right? We got a lot of young guys on defense as well. Um, with some talent. So those guys just got to get, and that's the good thing about this
and you
season.
gotta remember you're missing Derek Brown too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's
Yeah,
that's a
Derek Brown.
difference.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Oh my
difference.
gosh, it is
Yeah,
a
like the run
huge
game may
difference.
not be as we might not be getting ran on as much as we are getting ran on with Derek Brown still in the middle. I'm not saying that we wouldn't still struggle, but maybe it wouldn't be as bad as it has been if you still had him out there in the middle. That's
Um,
all I'm saying.
I think completely healthy, we would be giving up at least like 100 yards a game. Like with everybody, I think
oh yeah,
100
yeah,
rushing
Yeah,
it's,
yards.
it's
It wouldn't be the 150, 160 type of thing.
nah,
I
we would be
definitely believe
better.
way better. I think we'd be
We
like
would be
really
better
top
than what we
10.
are now.
I think
Yeah,
it would be
yeah.
like top 10 if we had everybody here, like DJ one or all of them, because I see what
Shaq
like
Thompson.
yeah, but you can't really blame like the coverages. Yes, it looks open. I wanted to answer Jamie. Yes, it does open, but when you don't have the personnel, that's when
Right, the person
the
and
right personnel
also
don't fit this team. Because
yeah,
you got
you
to
Right.
got
remember, the
that's
first
the
half
issue,
of the
and
season, we
also
didn't
these
have no good
guys.
quarterbacks.
Also, these guys don't have the experience, game experience, guys.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah, that's
you
true.
got to
and we didn't have
understand
the
at the
quarterbacks
NFL
either.
level.
You playing with a bunch of 3 and 4
Yeah,
guys
you
out
got
there.
guys who
Yeah,
normally don't see the field like that. So when you have to call on them guys to play all game or going against their top guys, it's hard for them. You think, yeah, like they kept saying because we was in zone a lot on that last drive where they scored.
right.
Like we was in zone, it was zone coverage, so meaning they were finding spots in zone. If a player who ain't had experience, man, to know what to do in those zones and had game experience, guys,
Right.
game experience is key to anything, man. You
It
got to
What
have
definitely
game
is.
side?
experience. That's the
But
only way
what
you get
side was
better.
they killing us on? Every play, left
Yep.
side of the field, left side of the field. Every
Yeah,
game,
but I want to
every
say that
time.
I want to say this part too, man, about the defense, man. Like, just to go back to what you were saying. Like again, like I can't pass judgment on Ejiro Evero. I don't think that he's going to be here just off of the strength of, he's not a Canales guy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Canales has somebody already in mind that he wants to bring in. So, and then on top of that, man, Ejiro may decide to, leave after this year to see if there's a head coaching opportunity yet. I mean, again, if he stays, obviously the continuity will be great. But in reality, what I'm saying is that the you can't really blame Gyro because the defense is talent deprived. Like again, you don't even have your best defensive player out there on the field. Like I don't care what
Yeah.
nobody say. Derek Brown makes a difference in games, man, because he does something that was critical to a defense, which is plug the middle. He plugs the middle, man. He causes pressure up front, and he forces quarterbacks, man, to get off their spot to get out where he needs. You don't have that this year. Listen, Jonesy Jewell is somebody that I want to give credit to, man, because that kid been playing his fucking ass off. He's
All year.
yeah, Jonesy Jewell has been playing his fucking ass off, man. I want to give credit and flowers to Jonesy Jewell because he made plays today, man, that were game changing plays. That interception that he made, and even before that play, man, he made a tackle for a loss right before that play. That guy has been playing at a phenomenal level. So again, and then on top of this is why I said it's so critical, man, for J.C. Horn to go ahead and get locked up on the deal. J.C. Horn, man, knock on wood, has played healthy, man, through 12 weeks. Through 10 weeks. That's the most he's done at any point in his career. He's
Yeah.
showing that he can stay healthy. Staying healthy. And he had a good game, man. He locked Malik Neighbors' ass up. Like he's having a good season. You got to get him locked up to a long-term deal. Like
He's
to
playing
me,
heavy snaps too.
yeah, and he's playing a ton of snaps as well. You have to give that man and go ahead and lock him up to another deal, man. Again, the defense, they're going to give up big plays. And I see Jamie and a lot of other people in the comments saying that the run game, listen, it's hard when you don't have talent in the NFL, man. You having a bunch of guys that are fours and threes on any
Right.
other team in the NFL, and you're trying to tell them to go out there and stop the run. Like Big Bro was saying, bro, that's a lot to ask for these guys. Some of these guys wasn't even expecting to see the field at all except for special teams this season. Like,
Yup.
none of these guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Nobody on our defense outside of outside of a J.C. Horn would probably be a starter on any other team in the NFL. Like, I'm keeping it 100% real, man. None of these guys would probably be starters on them. They probably would be twos and twos at best, or maybe even threes and fours.
Is Demani Richardson a rookie?
Like that's what we have to understand. I'm not sure if he is or not. So again, the defense is going to give up. They're going to give up yardage. They're going to give up points. They're going to do that. But I'm not worried about the defensive side of the ball, man. Me coming into this season, I wanted to see can the offense do enough, because to me, even as bad as talent deprived as the defense has been, they've kept us in most games this season. There really hasn't been too many games that really just got out of our hand. Like maybe two games. Outside of that, the defense has given us chances to go down there and try to win the football game. And that's
Oh,
with
he is a rookie.
yeah, and this is without star power on that side of the ball. So let's just think about that, man. Surfer Nation, before we just get on the gyro ass or get on the defense. These a bunch of nobodies out there playing, and I think Ejiro is doing the best he can with what he has. I'm not. It's not all his fault. It's not. He just doesn't have the talent out there, man. So that's my whole point on the defensive side of the ball. He just doesn't have the talent. You can't get mad at him for that. You can't even blame him for that. Anybody that's trying to blame Gyro for what's going on out there, it's not his fault, man. And it's really the same thing on the offensive side of the ball. We're relying on a bunch of 1 and 2 year players on the offensive side of the ball. Outside of the line, everybody else they're not veteran players. They're 1 and 2 guys. We definitely need to accumulate more talent on defense. Absolutely. I think in this upcoming draft, you have to go defense, man. You got to bring in some defensive guys. You have to go defense in this upcoming draft. Like, unless that there's a game-changing offensive player available when we pick, but I think that it's a must. You have to go defense. With out of these 9 picks that we have, 5 of those guys probably should be defensive guys. I'm not even gonna lie. You need more
I
depth
ain't
at
gonna
line.
lie, Wave. The first, because what I'm seeing, like now, I think our first round pick, I want to go defense, but there's so many offensive guys that's like probably better than some of the defensive guys that you gotta take them. You gotta take it. This offensive lineman, you gotta take him. He's
I mean, if
you
Will
gotta
Campbell,
take
if
him.
you finish, I just don't think the Panthers like for me. I just don't think the Panthers are going to finish. I don't know if they will finish top 5. I think
No,
that
I
they're
don't
going to.
think so.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to finish top 5 in the draft, man. Because again, there's a lot of bad football teams, and again, there's a lot of football left. That could easily change as the season goes along. But as it stands, as of today, I don't know if the Panthers finish top 5 with draft picks. I just don't, man, because there's about 10 teams in the NFL that are absolutely terrible this season. So I don't know if the Panthers will
Yeah,
finish 5. To me, they'll probably be in the 6th to 7th range, which obviously that's not ideal. I think if you finish there, you have to go best. You got to go best player available at that point.
I
To
think that's
your,
the best decision though. I
it
think
really
that's the
is.
best
It
spot
really
for us
is.
because I don't want to. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll tell you why because I just think
I do
that
because I want to get Travis Hunter. That's selfishly.
I
Travis
do
Hunter is the
too, but
best player in college football, hands
I
down.
do too, but like I just can't see him coming here. Like as much as I would want him, I don't know, man. I don't.
Shout out to Walter. He said, "Waves, what is your thought about Bryce Young? You think it's a fluke or he's improving?" No, I think he's improving. I think he's improving a lot. I think that he's improving a ton. I think that sitting down those couple of weeks, I think it's done a lot for his confidence. You can start to see that his confidence is rising. When he scrambled for that first down, man, you saw him do the celebration and stuff like that. I think that his confidence is definitely rising. I'm not saying that, hey, I don't know if he's the guy or not. I think it's still too early to tell. I don't know if he's the guy, but I think that if he plays the way that he's played over the last 2 weeks and just be a good game manager, I think that that's what we need. You build this offense off running the ball. Put the ball in Chuba hands. When Jonathan Brooks comes back, let Chuba and him be let Chuba and him be that 1A and 1B. So you gotta run first offense. Let Bryce Young be a game
Right.
manager. Put him in short down and distances. And to me, if you can keep that formula up and you can have success with that, do I want to see Bryce take more shots downfield? Absolutely. I would love to see him take a little bit more shots down the field.
I
But
think we
overall,
need some
man, you
beef
have to
us
be
though.
you have to be inspired about what he's shown over the last 2 weeks. I think the last 2 weeks has shown that he can at least finish the season. I'm hoping that he can continue to get better. Listen, it's not gonna look pretty every week. Every week it's not gonna look like this. Like there may next week when we come off the bye, he could throw 2 interceptions in that game. So it's not gonna be pretty, but I think that we're gonna have to be patient with him. I think that we're gonna have to continue to believe in him, and we're gonna have to believe in what Canales and Dan Morgan are doing with this regime. We just have no choice but to believe in it, and that's kind of just where I stand with it at this point. It's
Wavez, can I say something real quick to
go
the
ahead.
fan base? Is that look? I just want to say, just because a guy doesn't throw for 200 yards does not mean he didn't have a good game or he's not winning games. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got dudes throwing for 300 yards a game, and they damn near got the same record as us. So, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? It's just like, we have to stop that. The Bengals literally got all this star power, and they're like 4-5. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got less two less losses than us. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
I
yeah.
just want to get that point across. Bryce Young is a game manager that can win games. You know what I'm saying? That can, if it's a close game, he'll get you a win. And I think that they're finally understanding that, because last year just ruined it for him, because all of this, he Steph Curry with the shot and he got the sauce. It's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I like what Dan Morgan is doing, and I believe in his picks. And to be honest, I don't think he missed in any of his picks this year, because Demani Richardson is a rookie and he's been playing solid, because I
Oh
forgot.
yeah.
So he's hit this year, and I mean, we couldn't say somebody hit. I think this is the first time we hit all our draft picks since 2021. I think that was like the last year we hit on every pick was 21.
Yeah.
Because
So
Chuba, Derek Brown, and I think who else was there? Can't remember. It's a couple other
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, Jamie. So just to respond back to what you were saying, like again, man. What up, Bleezo, man? Appreciate everybody pulling up to the stream as always. Big waves in the building, man. Life is just a wave podcast. Listen, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like. The Carolina Panthers, man, are riding back-to-back wins for the first time, man, in a long time. Definitely feels good, man. I'm not even going to lie to you as a fan. To watch actual winning football for 2 Sundays in a row is a pretty good feeling. But like I said, man, was Canales conservative with a lot of the play calling late in the game? Absolutely, man. But we got to remember something, man. He's new at his job too. Like he's not. He's still learning at his job too. Just like Bryce is still learning as well. Like this, we have to remember, guys. We are in the baby stages of a rebuild, man. We're not at the point yet where we can really pass realistic judgment off of it. And the reason why we can't do that is because we don't have the talent yet to be able to pass the judgment. We're still building a winning culture and philosophy here. Until those things are where they're both equally matched, then we can't pass realistic judgment on anything. Like at the end of the day, you know, what I took away from these last 2 weeks and what I took away today is our young players are stepping up. They are stepping up, man. They are really, really stepping up. They're stepping up big time, and that's what you want to see. That's what I want to see. That the draft picks are stepping up because that's the only way we're going to be able to build this team. We're going
Yeah.
to have to build this team through the draft. So seeing that, that's giving me hope about going forward because okay, well, this regime's first year in, they did pretty good in the draft. So that's and with and then we didn't even have a first round pick this past draft. So you got to give them credit for that. They didn't even have a first round pick in
Oh yeah,
these.
we traded in.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
we
yo,
did trade in the first round, but what I'm
yeah,
saying is coming into it, you didn't even have a first round pick,
right.
so you got to give them credit for that. And then next year, you have a full deck of cards. You have 9 picks. I think you have like what 3 4th rounders. You
No, I
have
think it's 3/5
yeah,
this
you
year.
got 3 5ths, 2 4ths, and 2 seconds if I'm not or 2 thirds or something like that you got from the trades and stuff that you've been making. So you
Yeah, I
got
think
it.
it's 2 fourths and 3 5.
Yeah, and 3-5. So you got a deck of cards now that you can start putting these pieces in, getting the young players to believe in what Canales is doing. You have to believe in Canales. You have to, man, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you agree with the decision to hire him or not. He's your coach, and you cannot afford to make any change. Listen, if we have to make any changes at coaching, if we have to make any changes at fucking coaching, or we have to make any changes at quarterback right now, we're only setting ourselves up, man, for failure for
Not
another.
necessarily, Waves. I'll,
Why you?
I'll, I'll say why. Because if Dan Morgan drafts right and he continues to draft, and the draft picks are panning out, but Dave Canales may not be the right coach, that's a great scenario. Is if we
It's
still get these
not,
drafts like
man.
that,
It's
but
not.
that's happened before though, plenty of times with different places.
But you
Because you
haven't
get
been through four coaches in the last 5 years. That's the difference.
look, I'm with you 100%. The Brown look as much the Browns suck now, but that's due to their coach. They have the talent. They don't have a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that's what it is. You know,
But we don't
it
have the
happens.
talent that the Browns
Right,
have, though.
exactly though. But
Yeah.
we
So,
have to get talent,
but
and
and the only way you're going to do that is through the draft. Like,
right, and that's Dan Morgan.
Christian, I just don't agree with resetting the coach right now because
No, not
you
right
can't
now.
keep
No,
you
not
can't
right
keep
now. I'm saying
like
over
Canales has
time.
to have a minimum of 3 years. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
at
That's what
minimum
I'm
three
saying. Not
years.
not 1 year. No,
At
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
at
After
minimum
three
3 years.
seasons, if you
You have
don't
to
think
give him
he's the
three
guy.
seasons. After 3 seasons, and you're not seeing the team tread in the right trajectory, then at that particular point in time, then yeah, you have to make a change.
Right,
But
that's what I'm saying. Not no, that's what I was speaking to. I
so
think if we
far,
draft the next 3 years, and that's good, but we're not. There's something like Dave Canales not giving us that that we need.
right
You
after
know, the
three
next
seasons,
three
and
years.
he's not, then yeah, absolutely, I
Yeah,
agree with
that's what
that.
I'm speaking to. Yeah, that's
Okay,
why I
got you,
was
got you,
saying. No, I wasn't
got you.
saying after 1 year. That's what I was saying because I think if I believe that we're going to continue to draft good this next 3 years
I think we will. I think we
because
will.
I believe in Dan Morgan and especially with the undrafted situation, what he's done there, that impressed me more than the draft picks because you draft guys, but for you to go in the undrafted free agency and you hit on the undrafted, that's a big accomplishment. And for Jalen Coker to be in this point, and I think there's another undrafted guy that plays defensively. I can't think of, but he's been solid too. But
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so listen up, Panther fans, man. I'm about to get up off of here, man. Want to watch the rest of these games, man. Check out the rest of the NFL day today. Listen, appreciate everybody pulling up to the channel as always. Christian, thank you, bro, for coming up here. Big bro, appreciate you coming back up here. Listen, we're going into a bye week next week, so probably won't be live next week. May come back on here. I might do something for the bye week. I'm not sure yet, but we're going into the bye week, man, on a two game win streak, which is more than what we could hope for at this particular point. 3-7. You got the deadly Kansas City Chiefs coming off the bye. We'll see how that goes. But overall, man, listen, guys, we just got to keep going forward. We got to continue to build. That's all that it is. Remember, man, winning is a culture. You have to build that culture here, and the hope is that we're already better than last season because we got 3 wins. So we're already better than last season, which in my
More
eyes,
too.
that's a step forward, right? And I think the Panthers will be able to squeeze out 1 or 2 more wins by the end of this season. I think that they will. But outside of that, man, appreciate everybody pulling up to the channel. See y'all guys, man, fresh off the bye week. Keep pounding, baby. That's all we can keep doing.